lifesaver type of looking thing, what was this going to be? The head. This was the thing that articulated with the capitulum, right? Whenever there's a head, what's the constricted area underneath? The neck. So you see this little constricted on my bone here, it's red. Now, this bump is impressive. This is a big bump just below the neck. This is called the radial tuberosity. Our bicep muscle, watch this, when the bicep crosses the elbow, it's going to attach right about there to this big bump, right there, the radial tuberosity. So when the bicep contracts, it grabs that radial tuberosity and pulls the forearm forward so that you bend your elbow. That's what the bicep does, right? When you work out your bicep, what are you doing? You're doing a curl, right? You grab the dumbbell maybe, and you go like this to make that bicep contract. It's pulling on this massive bump, right? Impressive, you can't miss it. Radial tuberosity, and we'll visit that again when we study the bicep, okay? So what are the three things up here, guys? The top part is the head, neck, radial tuberosity. The long part is the shaft, okay? Now, when you look at the distal radius, it flares out. That's normal. Then there's a little point that sticks down from there. What do you think? What's the point going to be? It's another styloid process. So that little point looks like the styloid of the ulna also, okay? And then we said this one before. This little notch that's going to receive the head of the person laying next to you is the ulnar notch, because you're the radius in your mind, so it's got to be the ulnar notch to put that ulnar head. Okay, ulnar notch, very good. Okay. Whew. Those are tough, man. That distal radius, distal humerus, and the radius and ulnar, it's just a tough area. Hardest thing we're going to do today. Okay, if I can get your attention up here. Now, the hand. We're going to focus up here. Here's good news. We have 8 bones that we call carpal bones. What's carpal mean? What part of the body? The wrist. Excellent, the wrist. I will not, I promise you, I will not ask you to identify the carpal bones on our hand models. If you look at your hand model, chances are you're going to see it's very, very flimsy. Oh, that one is a good one. Hey, actually, you guys are not that bad. Some of the other rooms, the hand models are terrible. Dave, lift that one up for a second. Hold that hand model up for a minute. That one there, this is very flimsy. It would be very hard. Not that you couldn't do it, but it would be hard to do at our level. So here's my deal with you. I want you to know the 8 carpal bones. There are 4 in the proximal row, 4 in the distal row. I may do something like this. I may say, name me 1 carpal bone in the proximal row, or name me 1 in the distal row. So you got to know them, but I'm not going to ask you to identify them. So watch this. This is a picture of the hand like this. It's actually the right hand. We're looking down at it like this. Thumb, index finger, middle finger, ring finger, and the pinky. So I always do it from the thumb. It goes scaphoid, lunate, triquetrum, this little bone on the side here called the pisiform. So on my hand it would be something like this. Scaphoid, lunate, triquetrum, pisiform. Right? So those are the 4 this way. Then it goes trapezium, trapezoid, capitate, hamate. Right? So there's mnemonics to remember them. I can never remember them. It was just easier for me to learn the bones. But if you go online, there's real dirty ones if you want to remember dirty ones to help you remember them. There's clean ones. There's all different. However you memorize them, this is unfortunately one thing you're going to have to memorize, okay? So you got to know the 4 bones in the proximal row: scaphoid, lunate, triquetrum, pisiform. Distal row: trapezium, trapezoid, capitate, hamate. Okay? Now, watch this, guys. The bones that form our palm, here or here, we're going to call them metacarpals. So all of these bones are the metacarpals. And I want you to note that we number our fingers, and this is important. I will ask you this on the test. We number our fingers 1 through 5. The thumb is number 1. The index finger is number 2. 3, the ring finger is 4, and then number 5 would be the pinky. So we see the metacarpals are named that way. So if I asked you on a test, I'll have the hand model, because this you could figure out. Identify this bone right here, you would have to say it's metacarpal 2, or the second metacarpal. If you just said metacarpal, you're going to be wrong. It has to be numbered. Okay? So that's the second metacarpal. Very easy. They form the palms. You find them here. You can actually feel in the back. All this bone right here, I can feel all of them. Right here's the middle, the third metacarpal. Here's my second metacarpal. Here's my first metacarpal right there. Right, they form the palm area. It's easier to feel on the back because there's less muscle there. Now, the fingers. Very easy. Each finger, from the second finger to the 5th finger, has 3 phalanges. These guys right here, these are your phalanges. The one closest to the metacarpal you're going to call proximal. The second one is middle, and the little one, the furthest one away, distal.
Easy.
Okay? How many phalanges does the thumb have?
2.
Only 2. Yeah, only a proximal, and what would this one be?
Distal.
And distal. Okay. So on my exam, if I said to you, identify this bone, what's the answer? Middle phalange of the
Metacarpal 4.
4th finger, not metacarpal. You don't have to say the metacarpal. Just whoever said that. Just middle phalange of the 4th finger. Okay. What's this one?
Distal.
Distal.
Of the
Distal phalange
of the
3rd finger. Okay. What's this one?
3rd metacarpal.
3rd metacarpal. You got it. So why don't we take some time, guys? We did a lot. Take a look at the clavicle, the scap, the humerus, radius ulna, and the hand. Okay, a lot of stuff, and then we'll bang out the lower extremity. Okay, go. Everybody got the attendance?